Hey Aaron, how are you? I don't have a countdown yet. Since I switched to Restream, I don't have a countdown, so we have to wing it. And I'm going through the different music, and I think I'm gonna have to find something else. I'm not digging the elevator music so much. But how are you? How is everybody today? I We do have one update. I think you missed it last week, Aaron, but we talked about Oscar. He went by Omar. Guys, it's so upsetting that it's the. Hey, Brett, how are you? Will you be careful? Um, it's so upsetting. Hey, Trista, good to see you. How are you? All my friends are coming in. How are you guys? Hey, Music City Mom, good to see you. Um, Guys, it's the case that we had last week was about little Oscar, and he went by Omar to his family. Hey, Elma, good to see you. Um, and he was 13 years old, and then the case we have today is about Lori, and she was 12 years old. And the teenagers, you guys, I know that we think about keeping an eye on the little ones, but the teenagers are at such risk these days, guys. Hey, MK, how are you? Good to see you. Um, but last week, remember we were talking about Omar, and it was his he went missing on March the 30th, and the LAPD, the robbery homicide unit, they took over 2 days later, and I was really glad for that. And then, hey Van, how are you? Good to see you. And there's Grateful, good to see all you guys. Um, and so they took over, and then the next day they found his body, unfortunately. And remember, they questioned his coach the same day that they found his body, and they did arrest the coach, you guys, the same day, but it wasn't for little Omar's murder. It was for let me see exactly how they worded it. It was assault with intent to commit a lewd act, and it was against a 16-year-old. And that had actually happened in February of 2024, you guys. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. Okay, Elma, I hope you have a good day. Happy Tuesday, Tony. Good to see you. Good to see all you guys. Um, And so I found out after we had our live last week, you guys, I found out that they had only been investigating the 2024. They only had really dug into it the week before little Omar was found deceased. So, and then remember, he had another assault had happened in 2022, and they did, in my opinion, they did nothing about that one either. So there was two chances that they could have saved Omar, you guys. It made me even more angry when more stuff came out since last week. But you guys, they the little fella that was in the 2024 assault, he came out and he spoke since we had our live last week. So I wanted to show that to you guys first, and then we'll get into today's topic about little Lori. Let me get that for you guys. I'm moving slow on this one still until I get everything figured out. But I think I've got us already. I think I've already got it pulled up here. Yeah, and I know I have to come back and make it bigger.
Tonight at 6 with a one-on-one interview with a boy who says he was sexually assaulted by a local youth soccer coach. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Michael Bradley. That coach was arrested for the murder of a 13-year-old boy last week. Mario Garcia Aquino was also charged with sexually assaulting at least two teenagers in 2022 and 2024. And police say there may be more victims. NBC Sports' Karma Dickinson live with an exclusive interview with that boy who says he was one of them. Karma?
Well, yes, more than a year before youth soccer coach Mario Aquino Garcia was arrested for the murder and sexual abuse of a North Hollywood child.
Guys, and it is going to be the victim speaking, and he doesn't get into a lot of detail, but I do want to remind you guys, that's why I have the ticker across the bottom of my screen today. And also, you guys can watch my live from last week. Guys, can somebody grab it and drop it so people can watch that one if they want to hear more about little Oscar, please? I would really appreciate it. It tells more. And also in the description of that video, there's numbers. And also I left it on my community post of if you're also a victim of this awful bastard, they do have numbers that you can call. So I just want to remind you guys about that. Thank you so much.
Another teenager had sounded the alarm about the same coach. That teen shared a story with us, but we do want to warn you, this report contains some graphic and disturbing details.
When Oscar Omar Hernandez was found murdered in Oxnard April 2nd, allegedly at the hands of his soccer coach, many were left asking how this was allowed to happen. No one more so than this young man.
I thought it could have been me. I thought, why couldn't the police do anything about my case? And they just left it open. And then it had to get to a teenage boy getting killed. It had to get to that point.
Speaking with the permission of his mother, the San Fernando Valley teen, who's asking us to call him John, also wanted us to alter his voice and not show his face to protect his privacy because of what he's about to share. He's 17 now, but he was 15 when he says he met Mario Garcia Aquino.
Like, he would buy us food, drinks.
John says Garcia Aquino was also his soccer coach. He says the man befriended kids on the team, and he became close with them. That's when John was having hard times with his family, and he says Garcia Aquino offered him work.
Oh, so he offered John work too. Remember, he had offered Oscar Omar work, and little Omar was going to go help him paint. I'm sorry. Sometimes my friends across the pond they call it football, and it jumps in my mind football sometimes, but soccer. He was going to help him paint the soccer jerseys, and everybody said that little Oscar had told his family that he wanted to make his own money and help his mama and stuff. And so that seems like a ruse that this coach used quite often, and it's sickening.
And at age 16, he went to live with Garcia Aquino and his son, first in Sylmar, then in Palmdale. He says the coach offered him drinks, but he never thought much of it.
It was an orange juice, and it made me feel tired after a while. Sleepy tired.
NBC has not verified what, if anything, was in those drinks. But in February of 2024, about a year and a half after moving in with Garcia Aquino, John says he woke up to find the coach
pulling down my shorts. And I woke up, I punched him, and then he told me it was all a joke.
He was 16 at the time, and he says it happened again.
I go to sleep. I see him like trying to pull down my shorts again, and it was like 1 a.m, so I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. I saw my shorts backwards. I'm freaked out right now. How do you expect me to act?
John called 911 and his mother. This is video.
Guys, this is body cam of when John, right after it happened, he called LE and stuff like that, and this is after right when it happened. So this was over a year ago, and this man was still allowed to coach students, coach boys and girls. I'm not sure if it was girls too, but it said children of different ages, and he was still allowed to coach. Now, in my opinion, that soccer club needs investigated too, the whole club, in my opinion.
This is video of that day, February 24th, 2024, when LA County Sheriff's deputies came to the home. John says Garcia Aquino had run away. The sheriff's deputy sent John to the hospital. He showed us the discharge paperwork showing the emergency room doctor diagnosis of sexual assault of an adolescent, positive urine screen for an unspecified drug, and toxic encephalopathy, meaning an impaired brain function. But John says he's unaware of the law enforcement investigation going any further than that.
They called me speaking about it, but they just said that it was most likely going to be an open case.
Authorities eventually arrested Garcia Aquino for this crime, but they did so just last week, more than 1 year after John reported the assault. A year in which the 43-year-old Garcia Aquino continued to coach boys soccer. The assault arrest also came after Aquino was already questioned in Oscar Omar Hernandez's disappearance. The 13-year-old had gone to visit Garcia Aquino at his home and was found dead 5 days later.
When what happens, it feels like I got ignored. Like if I wasn't a human being, that doesn't sit right with me.
Bless him, you guys. He says it felt like he was ignored and he wasn't a human being. I really hope that they get this little fill of therapy, because I'm sure he probably even has survivor's guilt, and guilt that, which I'm sure that what does a 15, 16-year-old know what to do about these things, But I hope that they can get him therapy and things like that for sure.
What if I'm not here right now? I could have been that 13-year-old boy.
And NBC4 continues to push for answers from the LA County Sheriff's Department about those cases. Today, they declined to comment on any of the aspects of the timeline of this investigation, saying it has been forwarded to the district attorney's office. Tuesday, though, the DA's office told NBC4 that the 2024 assault case was under investigation until March 25th of this year. That's about a week before Oscar Omar Hernandez was found dead. Garcia Aquino is now charged with the death of Hernandez, the assault of John in 2024, and with another sexual assault of a minor in 2022. That charged just last week.
I lost you guys. I'm coming back. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh my goodness. It's lagging today, guys. There we go. Jeez, I have no idea what happened. NorCal Jim says our criminal justice system needs a major overhaul, in my opinion. No reason people like this should be let out. The prison system is just another money-hungry business. They don't care. No, they absolutely don't. And Jim, the soccer coaches and stuff, and the soccer club, they had to know that he was being investigated in 2022 and 2024, right? They had to know. So how did they still let him coach like that? Oh, you guys, I also found some pictures that I wanted to show you guys, and this will I'll pull it up and then I'll bring you guys back. It was on an Instagram account, and it was Mr. Joseph Bonner IG. And let me come back and get you guys, and I'll show you these. And these will make you sick too. It's all kinds of pictures of him. It really brings to mind how many kids that he was really around. What I don't like about this is I have to come back and make it bigger for you guys. But let me see here. And I'll share that Instagram with you guys too. But this is him, and then I'll go through them quickly. Thankfully, they did knock out the, and this doesn't look, this looks like a private residence. Thankfully that they did blur the children's faces, but it really shows you how many kids he was really around. And it does look like it's all boys, Trista, you're right. And then another one. Absolutely sickening. And here he's in a car with kids, like we were talking about before. I bet that he took them on a of let me see, guys. I'll get that and come back. I bet anything that he took them to and it was a traveling soccer team, remember? So I bet you that he took them to a lot of these places. Let me see here. It's not letting me copy, guys. Let me see here. I'll have to get that for you guys later. But it's NorCal Jim says, yes, that soccer club should be shut down and investigated. If they let this guy through, who knows? If they hadn't have let this guy through, who knows who else they may have. Yeah, who else have they let through? That's exactly right. It was the Hurricane Valley Boys Soccer Club in the Sylmar area. That's who it was, Hurricane Valley Boys Soccer Club. And it says he worked with different age divisions and was a youth travel soccer coach. Jim says, this is in one of the many reasons I'm heavily involved with my son and daughter's soccer teams. We have some kids whose parents are never around and just trust that things will be okay. Not me. No, you can't trust anybody these days. It's sad, but you can't. Thanks, Jen. Yeah, I was looking for one that reminded me of my little BFF that I lost in 2019, and that's the closest one I could find. We got to find a new name for them too. All right, guys. So today, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is Lori, and Lori Annalise Paige. And she was 12 when she lost her life. And let me show you guys here. Absolutely beautiful little girl. Absolutely. She let me get us there. Just one second. Lori Annalise Paige. So she went to Griffin Middle School, and and it's near Tallahassee. And so, but she had let me show you guys her. Absolutely beautiful. She had just moved to this area in August of 2022. And it said that, hey, True Crime Karen, it's good to see you. Oh, no. Okay. That's okay. Me and you will get it figured out. I just couldn't put up with StreamYard anymore, taking my backgrounds and stuff. I'm not going to pay all that and not have my backgrounds, Yeah, but so she had just moved to this area in August of 2022. And what I can find out from her past, on Nancy Grace, in another article I read, it said that she had been in the care of children's services when she was younger. And on Nancy Grace, they said, they said that her mom had just brought her to her dad and dropped her off in August of 2022, and they were making the best out of things. And but there was some trouble at home, and she had a teacher, Miss Margie Summers, and she is the hero in this situation, you guys, an absolute hero. But she was talking about how that Lori absolutely loved school. she said that she was sociable with other kids and she would see her talking to other kids, but she wasn't like didn't have a core group of friends and things like that because she was so focused on school. And she said she would be taking copious notes all the time. I believe it was in civics and science. I believe those were her favorite classes. And she said that she would run to her next class, even if it was just across the hall, because she wanted to be there in time. And she said that they had a test, and even though that Lori made an A on this test, that she still did the extra credit. And she said, well, Lori, you can't make it better than an A. But she said that she made this trifold board, it was about the Bill of Rights, I believe. And she said that she had American flags across the top and had little soldiers glued onto it. And she said that was a wonderful project. And she said that she was so concerned with school that a lot of kids made a 0 on a standardized test. Something happened, and that Lori was really, really upset about it. She said more than her other students. So she realized that she needed to talk to Lori privately about it. And so that just shows the kind of kid that she was, really, really responsible. And she said that she didn't realize things were going on at home. She never told her anything specific, but some of the other kids told her that Lori was sad and things like that. And this took place in June of 2023. And it was June the 3rd. But the week before, well, a month before this, Lori had quote unquote ran away. And but all she had done was go to a pool at another apartment complex, and some of the other kids would bring her food and things like that. But she still wanted to go to school, you guys. So she still showed up to school when it was time to go back to school, and she showed up barefoot. And so they did have to call her dad, and her dad came to get her. Her dad was a correction officer, and he worked overnight 12-hour shifts. They lived in a quadplex. I guess that's like a duplex, but with 4 in a building in Tallahassee. And while her dad was gone to work, she did have another adult in the complex that she could go to for emergencies. But for 12 hours, she was there by herself, And she didn't tell anybody why she quote unquote ran away that month before, but she still showed up to school, you guys. And so when on the the morning of June the 3rd, it was actually June the 2nd, and her dad said that they had just watched TV, nothing seemed wrong. The only thing out of the ordinary was that her mom had come by, and there had been some kind of altercation, and the police were called, and her mother was removed. This is what was told on Nancy Grace, you guys. And I wouldn't have believed it so much if Miss Margie, her teacher, hadn't said it too. She's on there. And so I do believe this happened. But when we find out exactly what happened, just what I found today, this morning, it kind of makes me question the timeline and things like that. But so her dad said that school was out at this time, I believe. But when he came home from work that morning, she was gone. And he said all that she took with her was a little backpack. And so they called the police. And let me show you guys what so this is another picture of her. Absolutely stunning little girl. And here it says, I have perfect attendance at GMS, which showed that she loved school. Really, really good at it. And that's her dad. He was 33 at the time, Andrew Wiley. And like I told you guys, he was a correction officer. So this is what the City of Tallahassee Police Department posted on that day. It says, please share to help locate this missing person. If you have any information regarding Lori's whereabouts, please call TPD, and it gives the number. But do you guys notice what it says on this on this post. It says missing dash runaway juvenile. And since then, and then down at the bottom, okay, it says Paige was last seen on June the 3rd, 2023 in the 1200 block of Continental Court. Paige is a dark-skinned black female with shoulder-length black dreadlocks. It is unknown what she was last seen wearing, but she may have a multicolored backpack. And then under that, it says no foul play is suspected. Anyone with information asked to call Tallahassee Police Department. Well, since Lori's case, TPD no longer puts runaway on their posts, which is great. I'm glad that they made, and I did look back through their through their post on their Facebook page, and they haven't done that in a while. Now it looks like they put endangered. They either put missing juvenile or missing endangered, which is really, really good. I didn't like that when I first saw that. So now let's see. So Miss Margie said that she realized that they didn't do a whole lot the first 12 days that Lori was missing. And so she reached out to the pastors in the area, Reverend Ferguson, and her and a Patty Wilson, co-host of Patty's Playhouse radio show. They spent months trying to locate Lori and get the word out about her disappearance. They handed out flyers and went door to door and things like that. But Miss Margie said that the first 12 days she realized nothing was being done. And so I want to show you guys, she reached out to the local media, and I want to show you guys hear her speak a little bit. So it was her and Pastor Ferguson a lot. I see them in a lot of media, even until this day. Hang on just a second, guys. My computer's moving slow today, and I don't even have a lot of tabs open, so I'm not sure what the problem is. Even just sharing screen, like I pressed the button to share screen, and it's taken forever, ever.
This girl, 12-year-old Lori Paige, has been a missing runaway for 14 days. Now at 11, I spoke with one of her teachers who is begging for her to come back. When someone goes missing, every minute counts. Margaret Summers, who's a paraprofessional at Griffin Middle School, knows this. That's why she's trying to get the word out about her student, 12-year-old Lori Paige.
I feel like after 14 days, there has to be at least one adult who has seen her or has an idea where she may have gone.
Lori is considered a missing runaway and was last seen on June 3rd near the 1200 block of Continental Court, which is close to Ocala Road and less than a...
See, they said missing runaway again. I'm so glad that they've changed that now, you guys, but how many kids has it impacted in the process before this? And it's awful that it took a case as bad as this for them to change that, but I am glad that they're making those changes and saw there was a problem.
Mile away from Mission San Luis. Rudy Ferguson, pastor for New Birth Tabernacle of Praise in Griffin Heights, doesn't know Lori personally, but he said in his position it's important to help the community any way he can.
We ought to be her family. We ought to look for her consistently until she's safe and sound. I think it's incumbent upon the churches as well in the neighborhood because that's why we're there. We're in the community not just for spiritual growth, but also to be a voice.
Summers says Lori has run away before, but she's always been found within a few days.
I'm hoping that if nothing else, that Lori will come to the school. She knows she's safe there. She knows that people care about her there, and we're in.
And that school really, really did care about her, you guys. I want to show you the end of when, actually yesterday was Lori's birthday. She would have been 14 years old yesterday. And on her 12th birthday, they did a little birthday party for her. Miss Margie did, and she left a little video for us, and I want to show you guys that at the end. So they really, really did love her.
In summer school, so she can come there any day, Monday through Thursday.
Pastor Ferguson forwarded Lori's missing person bulletin to the Frontline Pastors Action Council, which is made up of about 26 pastors.
We're going to keep searching. We're going to keep making phone calls. We're going to keep putting her bulletin out there. We're going to keep doing it until she's safe and sound, until we have some type of results.
Summer says Lori's teachers and friends are concerned, and they're just hoping she'll come back.
If we can find Lori, we can hopefully find her a mentor, so next time she faces struggles, she can talk to her mentor and not feel asked to run away.
And her message for Lori if she's watching.
Lori, you're a great student and a great kid, and there's nothing that you haven't done well enough. Just come back.
Aww.
If you have any information.
How sad, guys. I know, it's really sad. So they kept handing out flyers and things like that, and go door to door. And they, across from where Lori lived, there was a 64-acre park, and Miss Margie and the Reverend, they would search. They've searched this place 4 times, and in the next video I'm going to show you guys after this, it was their 5th search. But Lori's case didn't really get a whole lot of attention until February. So she disappeared that June, and then February is when you saw more stuff in the news about it. And it was February the 1st of 2023. And I know that we all have our feelings about Nancy Grace, but I really do think that her reaching out to the Tallahassee Police Department, I really think that it brought eyes back on her case and did a lot of good. So I know if it wasn't for Miss Margie, that her case wouldn't have got the recognition that it did. And you can hang out in our bushes anytime you want to Sunday. I hope you're having a good day. So see you guys, they changed her flyer to missing juvenile. And Nancy Grace's her podcast didn't come to YouTube until February the 9th. But, it comes out on TV a few days before that. So this is February the 1st. And I would say this is when her producers reached out to the Tallahassee Police Department. And it says, please share this flyer to assist in the search for 12-year-old Lori Paige, who has been missing for several months. The dedicated efforts of TPD's Special Victims Unit continue as they tirelessly explore every lead and resource to locate her. The length of time that has passed and her young age only heightens our concerns for her well-being. Despite our persistent efforts, Lori remains out of contact with her family and friends. However, we remain committed to bringing her home safely. We have and will continue to explore all avenues pertaining to this case since launching the investigation. Your vigilance can make a difference. If you have any information about Lori's whereabouts, no matter how seemingly insignificant, please contact TPD, and it gives the number. So they did take runaway off the flyer, and this is the next post that I see about Lori on their page. And then the 9th is when Nancy Grace has her show, and there's a few pieces that I want to show you guys. I'll just tell you guys from the timeline that I can see. This is also February 2024 is when they took her, they confiscated her dad's cell phone. And the next month in March, it says when the investigation turned to him being a suspect. It shifted to looking at him. And so I can't think that it's a coincidence that all this stuff is happening in February. And there's just a few parts that I want to show you guys. At the beginning of this, they kind of tell a little bit what happened, and none of them are looking at her father. they sing his praises actually, and that caught my eye because we know another missing child whose father is a correction officer, and Nancy Grace also sang his praises. And I never looked at that person really, and I'm still not really, but it's kind of opening my eyes, if you guys catch my drift, you know what I'm saying? So there's a few timestamps that I want to show you guys, and also her mom speaks. And there's something on here that I was confused about, because at one part they say that her mom wasn't in the picture at all, and then her mom leaves a message on here. So I don't really understand that. And then if her mom was there to have an altercation the night before, something I found this morning, you guys, there's a 66-page arrest affidavit for her dad, Andrew. And I don't have that yet, but it talks about what's in there. And it says that he had this planned, and they believe she was killed the night before. So if her mama was there the night before, how did he have time to do all this and then make it to work on time? Y'all know what I'm saying? So it's at the beginning, and then a few other timestamps that I want to go in and show you guys.
I think I hear. How can a 12-year-old little girl just disappear and nobody knows anything? Not only that, this little girl goes missing June 3. Let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February.
Oh no, guys, we're buffering. What the hell? I figure if I say it like that, it's not technically cursing. But for real, what the hell? Get it together. Am I still here, guys?
And nothing is
Though.
being done. Why? Where is this beautiful 12-year-old girl, Lori Paige, out of Tallahassee, Florida? Got a lot of questions about this investigation. But most important, where is she? Is she dead or alive? Who has her? What's been done to her? Has she been sex trafficked? Is she being hidden? Is she even alive? Let me give you the tip line right off the top. 850-574-TIPS. 850-574-8477. We really need your help. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. This is how the whole thing starts. Take a listen to Lieutenant Laura Varble.
She was reported missing to us on June 3rd by her father with very limited information. So Dad works overnight. He is he works in our correctional facilities. So he left late the night before, returned the next day after his shift, and she was gone. And this was not abnormal. That was their regular pattern.
Okay, let me clarify what Lieutenant Varble is saying. After I started investigating this case, I learned when she says that's not abnormal, she doesn't mean that the girl is gone is not abnormal. What is abnormal, what was not abnormal is the dad works a night shift. Mom's out of the picture. Dad has the 12-year-old girl. Everything's going along fine. He works a night shift, and then he comes home, and she's there. This is a responsible dad who works within the correctional facility, I believe at a prison, and holds down a regular job and is taking care of his 12-year-old little girl. With me, an all-star.
So you guys hear this? He's a responsible dad, yada yada. And hey Farq, it's so good to see you. Well, good morning. Good morning to you. Um And I understand that she didn't know all that investigators know. And like I said, you guys, she did a really good job because it doesn't look like a lot of things started being done until February, until she started looking into things. And, but I don't know, you guys, it just hit me wrong that they talk about what a good dad he is and things like that. And I just hope that the investigators didn't have the same mindset that she did at first, not looking into him and things like that. Y'all know what I'm saying? I hope so.
Our panel. But first, I want to go to a special guest who has emerged as an unlikely hero in this scenario. Margie Summers, paraprofessional at Griffin Middle School, very close with the little girl Lori Paige, who was missing, just 12 years old. I'm thinking of my little girl, who is now 16. You know what she did this morning? When she left to go to school, she left the door wide open. She walked out the door with her hands full and just left. I mean, that's the thinking. They're not thinking, right? They're children. And this little girl is just 12 years old. Margie Summers knows Lori very well, and she is the one who actually went out and organized a search for Lori on Facebook. Margaret Adams Summers. Ms. Summers, thank you for being with us. First of all, I want to address the home situation because you know, like we all know, that when a child goes missing or a child is killed, it's very likely someone in the family. And the first place you look are the male family members. You look at the dad, the stepdad, the boyfriend, the live-in, the older brother, the ex-boyfriend, anyone connected to that family. In this case, we're not seeing that kind of suggestion. Again,
See, she's saying usually you look at the dad, the stepdad, the cousins in this situation, but not in this situation. So that kind of hit me wrong too. Oh, I do want to say that Lori did not have social media that they knew of. She did have a Chromebook, but it was the summertime, so she turned that in. And also, she had a phone, they say, but she didn't take that with her. So I do want to mention that too.
against Lori's father. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with that.
What can you tell us about their living situation?
I know that about a year prior to her disappearance, that her mother brought her to the father and basically left her with her father. At that point, her father was somewhat new to parenting, but the two of them were making a go of it.
Hey, we're all new at parenting. I'm open to any and all advice, and believe me, I get plenty of advice online. You know, the other day, with me, Nicole Parton, crimeonline.com investigative reporter, and I want everybody to know one of the reasons we have her on today is not only is she a phenomenal investigative reporter, but she is the mother of 10. 10. God, that she's still alive. And speaking of,
And right here, you guys, are her mom speaks for a minute. I'm not sure where they got this. I couldn't find the source myself, but Nancy's producers might have called her, but I wanted you to hear her too.
this little girl's nature, I want you to hear what the mom has to say. Listen.
Did she leave in the middle of the night to go be outside voluntarily without being manipulated? In no world does that make sense. She might be outside in the dark. She is scared of everything. How are you outside in the dark for this long? And who's feeding you? Who is feeding this child? Because again, I know my child. Her first word was eat.
So, Dr. Bethany Marshall, when the mom tells us that, how scared the child is, she's afraid of the dark, she doesn't like the outside, she loves to eat, she loves the meals. What? None of this makes sense with the phrase that this little girl just took off. I'm just not buying it.
No, none of it makes sense. I mean,
When she disappeared, it was nighttime. What do you think this little 12-year-old girl's going to go out and take an Uber?
And listen to what the psychiatrist says. She actually gets on to how the mom sounds at first, and then Nancy has to correct her. So that's a bad screen capture, isn't it, Miss Nancy? But so it just makes me realize, you guys, that we need to take lessons about how we report on these cases, and also how that even you guys, just as subscribers, can maybe have a more open mind at first. And so far it doesn't look like the mom had anything to do with it.
Uber? That did not happen.
no, and her mother knows her daughter, right? I mean, who best would know her than her own parents? However, one thing concerns me, and that is that the mother is talking like a police detective, not like somebody who's concerned about her daughter. Now, I'm not saying she's not concerned, because she might be shocked, dissociated, unable to express her love. On the other hand, a mother who's this methodical and detached.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to defend the mother. In defense of what the mother is saying, she's extremely defensive and angry that the police and others have just written Lori off as a runaway. Take a listen to what Mrs. Brazzi, the mom, has to say about her daughter being labeled a runaway.
The police report said that she ran away, and there's no reason why they believe that she was taken. And that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because
I agree, ma'am.
you can voluntarily leave under manipulative circumstances. So, and then whether she voluntarily left or not, she's a child.
Exactly.
What rights do children have to move around as they please? Can she get in the car and voluntarily drive down your block? Because just as sure as she gets in a car and starts to drive it, that's going to be a problem. But when she voluntarily leaves and is missing, like, this doesn't make sense. Things that don't make me sense make me upset. I get irritated.
Absolutely. And that's what we're all saying. That's what we're all saying about when these kids are labeled runaways. Now I want to let you guys tell about what happened the night before, allegedly, about her mama showing up. But from what I'm going to read you guys at the end, it doesn't sound like this is possible unless he had things real close in time. So I'm not sure.
So yes, I'm concerned. Very concerned.
Joining me, Nicole Parton, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. Isn't it true that we have learned the night before she goes missing, she and her dad were at home as normal, watching TV, no problem, correct?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Now, he then goes to work, and there are witnesses that saw them there together, chilling and watching TV. Everything was fine. Yes, no?
Yes, correct.
Then he goes to work as usual at a nearby prison facility. He works at a CI, Correctional Institute. He goes to work. Everything's fine. Locks the door. She's there. He comes home the next morning, and she's gone. Yes, no?
Yes.
Now, Nicole Parton, there was one unusual circumstance that happened the night before, early in the evening. Didn't the mom show up at the house, and that upset Lori?
She did. The mom showed up at the home, and there was an altercation to the point that her father, being protective, called the police and said, "Can you please come out and remove the mother from the home. The police were not at their home all of the time. This was a good man.
Oh man. They just said her father being protective called the police. The police didn't show up often at this home. This was a good man. Oh, that makes me want to gag right now after we learn what he did.
You know, it's not like the cops were coming out every weekend. This was one incident where the mom showed up. The father did the right thing, called authorities and said, there's an altercation. My daughter is upset. And the police came out and asked the mother to remove herself from the home.
Kathleen Murphy joining me.
Okay, guys, and the last part that I wanted to show you guys on this is Miss Margie saying why she had to step up. And then I didn't want to make you guys sit through.
Jump
But
in,
you're
man.
right, Nancy, and this is why the 14 detectives right now are realizing, holy cow.
Not one of 14 detectives would come on. Why did you, Margie Summers, have to form this search committee? Why did you have to go out looking for her? Tell me about that.
Other little girls, there's press conferences, there's rallies, there's news cameras, there's all kinds of attention. And my student, someone I cared about, was getting none. That's not fair. It's not right.
A DAMN thing. No pressers, no big searches, no guys and women on horseback, no canines, nothing.
Nothing.
And unfortunately, you guys, I didn't hear about Lori's case until Friday when there was a news conference. And but I do want to tell you a few more things about what happened after Nancy Grace's show. After Nancy Grace's show, which was on the 9th, on February the 20th, the FBI offers a reward, and they go out and so about 11 days later, the FBI offers a $15,000 reward, and they go back and search that park across from where they lived again for the 5th time. Miss Margie and the Reverend, they go out and search that park, and then they also, in February, is when they confiscate her dad's phone. And let me see here. And I later learned that in the next month, in March, is when the investigation switches to her father. And on that phone, they end up finding questionable searches about bodies of water in Georgia and Alabama. And where they end up finding her body, let me show you guys. It is about, from what I could tell from my phone, it's about an hour away from where they lived in Thomas County. And it's this place that the locals call the Plantation. So that's about how far it was, about an hour. And it's this place called the Plantation. And but before that, so the FBI offers the $15,000 reward, and Miss Margie still, that was in February, and then in April was Lori's birthday, and so Margie gets the press out there again. Her and the Reverend are still trying to get her name out on the news as much as they can. So they do something for Lori's birthday. And then on the 1-year anniversary of her disappearance in June, they do something else. And the police chief comes out, and it's about a 25-minute interview, but all that I want us to watch is the last 8 minutes, because that's where he specifically talks about this investigation just a little bit from what they can. So I'm going to get that ready for us. Let me see here. I I just, guys, I said that I just heard of her case on Friday when I saw the press conference. So I haven't gotten to research as much as I usually do, but I've tried my very best to go and get everything for us that I could. And the first like 17 minutes, they're just talking about that they've utilized a lot of resources, like they had the special victims unit and the homicide unit investigating her case from the beginning, and they even called NCMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and Team Adam to come in and look at their investigation and see what else they could do that they might have been missing. But the last few minutes is where I think that is all that we need to watch.
Charge to continue that very, very seriously. And so anytime I speak to the community about SVU or about whatever unit it might be, I remind them of how successful we truly are, and how just what an incredible job that the men and women of the Tallahassee Police Department do every single day. When I talk to, I still have a lot of friends in the community. I grew up here, and so I talk to people that are quote unquote on the street, and the word in Tallahassee is and has been for a while, you can commit a crime in Tallahassee, but TPD is going to get you. They're going to find you, and that's just due to the level of dedication. So it's really not about, when I talk to the community, it's really more about just reminding our community of the quality of law enforcement that they have here, and just to work with us, because the biggest reason we are successful is because we have a community that supports us. And the community, the more the community supports us, the better that relationship is, the better our community is going to be, the safer our community is going to be. There is somebody in this information that's going to bring closure to this case and bring Lori home.
Is there any, technology or advancements? You just talked about how you all are, revered as a department. So I wonder, is there anything extra here in Tallahassee that gives people faith and hope that you all have more resources at your disposal, technological-wise or forensic-wise, when it comes to a case like this? Can you offer anything to us?
Well, I mean, what I can tell you is every piece of technology that we know of that would help in this case, we have already brought in and used, whether we own it or whether we get it from some of our other state, federal partners. At times they have more access to that type of equipment just because of state and federal funding. But I can assure you that there is not a piece of equipment that we would use in a case like this that we don't own or have access to and would have used in this case. Forensically, our forensics unit is amazing in the quality of work that they do. We've had, I don't know the name of the piece of equipment, but we've taken, this piece of equipment out over bodies of water, and use that to, I don't want to say, sonar or whatever it is, but whatever that technology is, we've brought that in and used that in this case. And that's just one example. Obviously, there's cadaver dogs and there's things like that we brought in from other places in the state. We made sure that we got the best team in the state to come and do that, not just any cadaver team. We got the best team in the state and brought them in to do a search. So any and all resources like that are, like I say, if we don't own them, we know who does and have relationships with them to be able to bring that equipment in.
The Lori Paige case is not the only missing persons case that you all have been following. Could I get kind of like a general overview of like how many cases are you all following? Like, what is this? How typical is it for a missing persons case to be in Tallahassee? I see them come out. We have reports, and you all send it to us.
Right.
Sometimes we get they'll be found, but
in cases almost every single day. Even from when, again, years and years ago, not going to say how long, those flyers out, getting that information out many times. And I know they follow up always and say that person's recovered. Almost always that person's recovered the same day or the next day. But the frequency, I haven't really noticed an increase in the frequency. We still have missing persons almost every single day. Sometimes multiple cases may go longer them out of the system until law enforcement places eyes on them and see being very cooperative and letting law enforcement come see the child. We know where the child is. We are the person. We know where they're not technically recovered. Place for our investigators or detectives, they have to get a DNA sample we use that not only,
I must have gotten my timestamps off about this one, you guys, but basically all that I wanted to show you guys in this one was he said it was the way that he said it about how that her family was cooperating. He didn't say that they weren't, but he didn't say they were either. And he said a lot of some family members were more concerned than the other ones. And now I know that the investigation led them north to this place in Thomas County, Georgia, and it's called The Plantation. And I believe the real name of it is Merrily Plantation. And they did go and search for Lori there, but they didn't find her until April the 5th of this year. So she disappeared June the 3rd of 2023, and they only found her April 5th of this year, so a few days ago. The searches they had conducted prior, they weren't able to find her, but this one they were able to find her because they did a prescribed burn, and they brought in the dog's name was Cairo, and they brought him in from a North Florida search team, and they were able to find her. And so now I thought that we could watch the press conference about that. Let me get it for you guys. Hang on just one second. I got it. Now, let me share. And it's very short, just about 7 minutes.
Today's a sad day in the sense that we did recover the remains of missing 12-year-old Lori Paige. I told you 2 years ago we would never give up. I told you 2 years ago we would find Lori and we would bring her home. I told you 2 years ago that we would find who did this and we would arrest them and bring them to justice. And today I stand before you to tell you we have done just that. So we have recovered Lori's remains and we have arrested the person responsible for this crime. So today with me is this group of amazing people that have been working with us nonstop on this investigation. It could not have come to the conclusion that it came to without this type of collaboration. So I'm going to take just a minute to thank each of them. State Attorney Jack Campbell couldn't be here with us today, but certainly they have played and will continue to play an incredibly valuable role in it. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement, again, just an essential partner. Assistant Commissioner Pollard, thank you, sir, for everything that you guys do. Zach Wilmer and ASAC Willis. Thank you guys. Again, just amazing. Jennifer Camp is the lab supervisor who, again, the evidence that we found, they turned it around in 4 days. And again, that just doesn't typically happen, but that's the kind of collaboration that everybody put into this case. Nobody gave up on this case. And thank you. And that's what we're here to say. Pastor Ferguson has been, with us from the beginning, cheering this on, keeping it in the community, keeping it out there. We have Michelle McLaughlin and tell me Kairos, who actually were the team that found the remains after multiple. We did several searches over several different locations, and again, just a magnificent team in that. Thomas County Sheriff Tim Watkins was instrumental in our ability to go into Georgia to do the things that we were able to do up there. The support of his agency for our agency while we were up there was just incredible. So thank you, sir, for that. That was amazing. And I can't leave out TPD's lead investigator, Jerry Magna. So just a tremendous job. So with that being said, I'm going to read a statement, and you guys will get a copy of that. So after a comprehensive and exhaustive 22-month investigation into the disappearance of 12-year-old Lori Paige, the Tallahassee Police Department has arrested her father, 36-year-old Andrew Wiley, on the charges of second-degree murder. Since Lori's disappearance in June of 2023, detectives have pursued hundreds of leads, conducted interviews across multiple states, examined digital evidence, and searched extensively across North Florida and South Georgia. The case evolved significantly over time, with key developments ultimately leading to Wiley's arrest. The following provides an overview of the timeline of events that we followed. June 3rd, 2023. Lori Paige is reporting missing by her father, Andrew Wiley, and at that time, he claimed she left home with her backpack sometime in the night while he was at work. Summer of 2023 to early 2024, detectives pursued hundreds of leads across state lines. Lori is never located, and the story provided by Wiley begins to show inconsistencies. February 2nd, 2024, a phone is seized from Wiley's residence. A forensic analysis uncovers questionable internet searches, including queries about remote areas with bodies of water in Alabama and Georgia. March 2024, as more consistencies in Wiley's statements are identified and new information.
Yeah, guys, he's reading what I just read muted, so it's all good. He's reading it word for word. Oh my goodness, I don't know how I didn't catch that earlier, but yeah, he's going through the timeline that I showed you guys earlier while I was muted, so it's all good.
About his relationship with Lori emerges, detectives shift their focus more heavily towards Wiley. Early 2024, based on digital evidence, detectives begin searching a remote, brush-covered area of Thomas County, Georgia, known locally as a plantation. Multiple searches are conducted but yield no results. April 5th, 2025, following a prescribed burn that cleared heavy brush in the area, detectives returned to the plantation for another search. This time, they located human remains. The remains are processed by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, again, like I said, in 4 days, and positively identified as those of Lori Paige. This case has deeply impacted our community for nearly 2 years. Lori deserves a safe home and a full life. While today's arrest will never bring her back, it does bring us one step closer to justice. This arrest is a testament to TPD's unwavering commitment to solving violent crimes and bringing justice to victims and their loved ones. Anyone with any further information in this case is urged to contact TPD at 850-891-4200 To remain anonymous, you can call Crime Solvers at 850-574-TIPS. Again, we extend our sincere gratitude to the many officers, community members, and partner agencies who supported this case. Your efforts helped ensure that Lori Paige's story will never be forgotten. Lastly, just let me touch on some of the other agencies that were also involved. The Tallahassee Fire Department, the Leon County Sheriff's Office, Leon County Schools Safety and Security.
Okay, so I think that they don't answer any questions. Oh my goodness, if you guys could see my face right now, it's a bit red, I would say. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now now we get to a bad part, the really bad part, you guys. It's what I found this morning, and it tells us what the court records say. Like I said, it doesn't. I don't have the court records yet. I would like to get them so I can see what this bastard did when he had everybody thinking he was such a good dude. Ugh. Yeah, but right now we'll just have to read what they say. Well, good, B Crimes. I'm glad. That's what I'm here for too. Okay, it says now I got you guys pulled up. I usually do my pop-out chat so I can see you guys when I'm reading, but that one I couldn't I had to move you guys out of the way. Y'all were in the way, bro. It says new court documents released Monday shared more details about the arrest of Andrew Wiley. He is the father of Lori Paige, a Griffin Middle School student found dead earlier this month after being missing for nearly 2 years. Wiley was arrested in connection to her death and disappearance, Tallahassee police announced in a press conference. Evidence from nearly 2-year investigation led detectives to believe that Wiley killed his daughter on June 1st, 2023. So, you guys, remember on Nancy Grace, they said that the day before, so June 2nd, they said that her mama came and there was an altercation and the police escorted her mom from the property. So, how did that happen? There's no way that could happen. So, I'm questioning Nancy Grace again. But it says, and dumped her body in a wooded area in Thomas County, Georgia on June the 2nd. Arrest papers say he reported Lori missing on June the 3rd. Police say on June 2nd, Wiley took preparations to flee the continental United States. The father purchased a one-way plane ticket from Jacksonville to Puerto Rico for the following day, according to court documents. Let's see, phone records revealed he traveled to Jacksonville on the evening of June 2nd. But for unknown reasons, he returned to Tallahassee almost immediately and did not leave the state. So what if he got away, you guys? But Puerto Rico is part of the United States anyways, right? Is it, guys? So I don't know what good that would have done him anyways. If it's geography or math, though, all my friends, all y'all know that I'm not the best at those two, so don't hold me to it, but I believe that's part of the United States. Yeah. Thanks, B Crumbs. I do got a giggle. No. Okay, now let's see here. Additionally, evidence of Wiley's purchases leading up to the murder of Paige suggests there was likely abuse of Paige occurring, which may have been of a sexual nature per the court records. Thanks, Brad. That's what I thought. So what was he thinking? What good was that going to do him? Wiley also destroyed his electronic devices to conceal his action, according to court documents. Well, how did he have that phone all the way up in February? It's 1,000 wonders that he had that phone they confiscated 8 months later. Think of all that they would have gotten if they would have tried to get stuff when it first happened. It says a relative of Lori's revealed to investigators in a February 2024 interview that Wiley was worried about being treated as a suspect in the investigation of his daughter's disappearance. So they only interviewed Lori's relative in February 2024 too? Oh my goodness. In an interview with police in February 2024, Wiley said he was unable to remember the events of the week leading up to when he reported Lori Paige missing. The same month, investigators searched Wiley's car and found several items, including a pistol, ammunition, and car cleaning fluid, court records revealed. Floor mats, normally present and typically provided with a vehicle, were absent, the court records wrote. The arrest papers go on to say that a bottle of cleaning spray was also discovered and had a label affixed which touted its ability to specifically clean or remove blood. Well, I don't know that I would be looking for a product that said specifically remove blood for my car. That's kind of crazy. It says Paige's blood was confirmed to be present in the carpet of Wiley's car after the carpet was removed and sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Crime Lab. I'm wondering when they took that carpet. Court documents also detailed Paige's childhood and her relationship with her parents. Described as quiet and smart by classmates and relatives, Paige experienced serious depression and displayed signs of resentment for her parents, according to court records. In both households, it appeared she was left alone for hours at a time with no supervision, and this occurred from a very young age, investigators wrote. Well, bless her little heart, guys. One of Paige's relatives told detectives that the 12-year-old felt abandoned by her mother and was capable of self-harm. Court records revealed that Paige's parents shared custody of the middle schooler until her mother relinquished custody to Wiley prior to the 2022-2023 school year. On Saturday, Wiley was denied bond on his second-degree murder charge. Judge Anthony Miller also accepted State Attorney Jack Campbell's request that Wiley be barred from having contact with several of his and Paige's family members. So yeah, and I'm not sure if it's this video that I watched or another video, but it said that they believe he had this planned, you guys. So I'm thinking that's why it should be first degree. You know, let's watch this video and see what it says.
Thank you for joining us at 6 tonight. I'm Julie Montanaro.
And I'm Jacob Murphy. Court records released this afternoon paint a disturbing picture, revealing the lengthy investigation into Lori Paige's disappearance and the discovery of her remains. Investigators believe her father, Andrew Wiley, killed her in June 2023, dumped her body in Thomas County, then reported her missing the next day.
Court records suggest that Lori's father may have been abusing her. Investigators found Lori's blood in the carpet of his car. Court documents say the father also purchased a one-way plane ticket from Jacksonville to Puerto Rico shortly after, when detectives suspect he dumped her body. Documents also say Wiley destroyed his electronics to try to conceal what he did.
Data found on one of Wiley's phones reveal internet searches the day he allegedly killed Lori. It includes a search for remote areas of Alabama and Georgia, bodies of water in the area, and driving directions there. Police say he also searched for bad neighborhoods in Tallahassee and, quote, Apalachicola National Forest dead body. The device also searched where do police look to find missing kids.
Phone records indicate Wiley traveled from his home through Tallahassee and Jefferson County before crossing the state line into Thomas County. Wiley's phone then logged a location in a field off Mitchell Road. Investigators later found Paige's remains within 100 feet of that spot.
100 feet, you guys. So she was there. I would say that, well, I know that Florida is a lot like the holler, you know, with greenery and shrubs, and it looks like the Congo sometimes. Like, it's crazy with all the vegetation and stuff. And so I'd say that Georgia, Florida right there. I would say it's the same, and you can't see anything hardly. So thank goodness they had that prescribed burn, or who knows if she would have ever been found. Bless her. Oh my goodness, you guys. So I know that this case is technically quote unquote solved, but I still wanted to talk about Lori because I hadn't even heard about her, you guys. I hadn't even heard about her missing until the press conference for her showed up. And I still don't even know that the cases that I research, you guys, whenever I'm researching a case, I subscribe to the local news stations, like I tell you guys a lot. And I must have subscribed to Florida for some other reason. And so it showed up on my YouTube and under my new videos. And so that's how I found found out about her in the first place. But we have to look at the good things. There is one good thing that now Tallahassee, remember I showed you guys her missing flyer, the first one, and it says missing / runaway. So now they don't put runaway on there. So that's good. We have to be thankful for that. And we do have to be thankful, guys, that for Miss Margie, her they said paraprofessional, and that's a teacher's aide is what I learned. And if she hadn't have started speaking up 12 days after she went missing, who knows what would have happened, and if she hadn't kept on it. And and guys, I know how we have our feelings about Nancy Grace, and we have to look at things closely and double check everything she says. But I don't think it's a coincidence either that she started asking questions of TPD in February of 2024. And right after that, they confiscated the dad's phone. They started gathering more evidence, and they started searching different areas and things like that. And the next month is when the investigation switched to her father exclusively. So I don't think that's a coincidence. So we have to thank Nancy for that too, but mostly in my eyes, the winner here is Miss Margie, you know. So for our good news today, you guys, I have to tell you guys about it's sad at first, and it's kind of like the ones that we see sometimes that are sad at first that turn out good. So I have to show you guys this couple. It is 31-year-old Deshaun Albert Dunmeyer and Sheila Smith. And their story turned tragic in July of last year. They had a baby girl, and they were co-parenting her. And when Sheila showed up, I think to pick her baby up, he said, Mr. Deshaun said something like, "We're all gonna die today." And he shot her 8 times. 8 times, you guys. She was finally able to get a neighbor's attention. And so the cops came and they were able to get her out. But he had the baby girl. And let me show you guys. This was taken from from one of their body cameras. He was using her as a shield, the baby girl. Sorry, guys, I just had to show you that quickly. But after 6 hours, he was still using the baby girl as a shield. And finally, they so that was discussed, and the whole body cam, you guys, is awful, and it's only like 8 minutes, but I'm not going to show you guys because it's so bad. But I did have to show you that one picture taken from their body camera to show you how bad it was. And but they did end up having to, delete him, but they did save the baby girl. And I have to show you guys this. This is so while the mama Sheila was in emergency surgery after she got out, this is her and her baby after that. You guys, look at that sheer joy on Miss Sheila's face. after all that. And it's just a thousand wonders. It's a miracle, really, that both of them lived. And yeah, a big time monster, guys. I'm sorry. I should have gave you a warning before I showed that picture, you guys. I'm sorry about that. But I just had to show you how critical this situation really was. And they keep telling him on the body camera, they're like, you need to live for your daughter. Everybody can walk out of here today. Just give her to us. Put the gun down. You know, everything will be fine. Well, he didn't want to do that. And the cops did end up having to take him out, you know, and rightfully so, to save the baby. Absolutely. Yep, guys. Miss Sheila lived and the baby girl lived, and this happened in July of last year. And they Miss Sheila did a YouTube video recent. Well, I just saw it yesterday, so I wanted to show you guys. It's a little bit of an update. And so this is our good news for today, which it's like a lot of our good news. It's bad at first, and then it turns out really good. So
it is an incredible story of survival. A woman shot by her estranged boyfriend who held her and their daughter hostage.
Yeah, this is frightening. We showed you body cam video back in July when Deshaun Dunmeyer was using his 3-year-old daughter as a shield from the SWAT team that was trying to rescue the little girl. Now, he was killed, but the mother and child survived, and now she has a message for other women. And not investigate. Shannon Butler has her story live in Studio C. Shannon.
Greg, in all, she was shot 8 times, scars she will carry for the rest of her life. But it's not just those wounds. The deepest scars cannot be seen, but she says she and her daughter are doing pretty well. And now she's hoping to save someone else from what she went through. Sheila Smith felt meeting Deshaun Dunmeyer at an LA shoe store was meant to be.
He was just really sweet. He had a good, I don't know, high energy. He just seemed very positive. We just had fun. I mean, after that day, we kind of were inseparable.
What she didn't know until years later is that there was a side of him that was dark, so dark that he tried to kill her. The couple had broken up, but was co-parenting the best they could. That was until that day in July when she went to pick up her daughter and almost didn't make it out.
Guys, there's also, oh, look at the baby. There's also the news crews were on the scene the night this happened, and you can hear the shots that the officers took, and then you see, I think it was Miss Sheila's mom have got the baby and was just screaming and crying and holding the baby, so glad to have her. And that'll really hit your heart too. And they're doing really good. Yes, shot 8 times, you guys. I know, Heather Brad. That's what I thought too. And the body cam will really get you. I hope that memory is taken from her, and I hope that they're getting her therapy for it right now, starting right after it happened. Bless both of them.
He was like, "We're both gonna die today," and I'm like, "Sean, please. You do not have to do this." And he was still going, he was still mad, and then he shot me again. So I tried to get away from him, and that's when he shot me in my back, and I kind of fall to the floor, and I'm begging him, "Sean, stop."
And finally, he choked her until she fell unconscious. When she came to, she was able to escape.
I knew I wasn't gonna die. I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna just have to fight my hardest fight.
She ran to get help. Finally, a man called 911, but that was just the beginning. She was completely unaware that while she was undergoing surgery, he was in a standoff with the SWAT team.
I promise you she's going to be all right. I need you to be all right because she needs a father, okay? She needs her father, Deshaun.
Deshaun was now holding their daughter hostage as negotiators tried to get him to surrender.
Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Deshaun, don't make me do it. Deshaun, don't touch the gun and everybody will be fine.
She's freaking out.
Deshaun, come on, buddy.
She's freaking out, dude.
For 6 hours, deputies tried to get him out, but he used that little girl as a shield as she cried in the chaos. But then, in an unbelievable move, The Orange County SWAT team shot him, saving that little girl.
Go, go!
Our SWAT officers saw him holding.
I know what happened, you guys, because I read the article, but still, when I was watching that body cam and I heard after the shots, and I still I heard the baby crying. I was so glad to hear her crying to know that she was okay, you know.
A gun, and the baby shot and killed the man. Thankfully, the baby is okay.
In all, Sheila was shot 8 times and is here to tell her story, crediting God for being able to raise this little girl now that her father is gone, and hopes speaking today helps someone else who might also be in danger.
I would say to always trust your gut feeling. If something doesn't sit right, something's probably not right.
Now, Sheila has been through several surgeries, but as you can see there, they are actually doing pretty good considering what they went through. If you need help, we have linked resources on our.
And I dropped resources to you guys, and you can always reach out to me through email, and I can help you find resources too. Unfortunately, a lot of us have been through situations, you know. Brat was asking if so why did he just snap? Like, why would he just randomly do this? And Aaron makes a good point. Sounds like he maybe always had a different sign. Yeah, different side. Yep. That's what I think too. They had been co-parenting. I'm not for sure for how long, but it was just the day that she went to go pick up her little girl, and that's what he just said. It was like he was done. I don't know. I don't know. And like she said, to trust your gut. If you feel something, get out. Tony says hearing things always makes it more real. Yeah, that's true. It really does. I know, guys. Like we can just pray that like we said, that little girl has no lasting consequences, and that those memories are just erased from her brain. That brings me to something else, you guys. On my community tab today, I posted it's going to be Testimony Tuesday, and I spoke a little bit about how God has saved me in the big things, and then even the little things that I'm grateful for. And you guys check that out if you don't mind. And if you'd like to post something there, you can, absolutely. Or I'll just, post what I feel, But I did want to mention that. Yeah, NorCal Jim, that's what I think too. Yeah. He wasn't gonna give it up. 6 hours. 6 hours he had that little girl there and them trying to get her out. Yeah, that's what I feel too. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I will keep up with what's going on with Mr. Andrew Wiley, and I'm interested in the court papers to see if he really did plan this, because it seems like he did. It doesn't seem like it should be second degree. Hopefully they can up those charges, and I will keep up with it for you guys. If you guys see anything else that we can bring awareness to, please reach out to my email or leave me suggestions under this video. I don't care a bit to help any way that I can. And thank you, mods, for helping me today. Well, my friends that helped me moderate, I really, really appreciate you guys. Yeah, Aaron, absolutely. Thank everybody for coming today, and thank you guys too. Thanks for coming, FarQ. Thank all you guys for coming. Don't forget to say your prayers and take your vitamins, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, guys, wait. We gotta drop Van's link. I forgot. She has some great pictures. She's starting to post her pictures for her spring flowers and things like that. So, and she's gonna put some new videos out. So please check out her page if you haven't already. It's that time of the year when she has some great pics up and stuff. And I learned so much from there too. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.